Hey, how you doing, everybody? It's your boy Nick Ruiz back here with another YouTube video, and today I got for you guys the top 5 small forward builds in NBA 2K20, okay? The small forward is a very, very unique position. Um, it's that position that can do a little bit of things that the point guard can do, and it can do a little bit of things that the big man can do. It's kind of that jack of all trades position, okay? It can't really handle the ball as nearly much as a point guard, but it can handle the ball like a guard sometimes. It can shoot like a guard sometimes. Um, it can play make like a guard sometimes. It can play some defense. But it can also do some things that the big man can do. For example, the rebounding and guarding the post, scoring in the post. So the reality is the small forward is really the jack of all trades position, okay? Now in 2K20, especially because of I'd call it a slight nerf, or for some people they may think it was a major nerf. When the demo came out last year and we figured out just how bad small forward builds really were, okay? And I'm not gonna lie, this top 5 list was really, really difficult to make because there's not too many small forward builds that are usable in the game to begin with, okay? Um, but I did come up with the top 5, okay? Now, some of the best players in NBA history come from the 3 spot, the small forward position. You got the likes of Larry Bird, Kevin Durant, and my personal GOAT, the greatest of all time in my opinion, LeBron James. So let's get into this list, man. The top 5 small forward builds in NBA 2K20. So before we start, I got a little honorable mention to begin this list. This barely made the list. I was debating whether this should make the list or not. The pure point forward, pure yellow pie chart small forward build. This build is actually really good, and in 2K20 especially, it's kind of underrated. It couldn't make the list in my opinion because once you go past 6'7", you lose your speed boosting ability. And I believe that point forward should be that one position where you could be as tall as you want to be as a small forward, and you should be able to speed boost, in my opinion. Maybe not to the likes where like 2K17 and 2K18, because while the 6'10" point forward was popular in 2K17, in NBA 2K18, yes, some people did play it. People knows that the most cheesiest build in NBA 2K18 was the 6'10" point forward with minimum weight and max wingspan, because it was literally a demigod. It could do everything. It was like Kevin Durant. But in 2K20, try making a 6'10" point forward, bro. Your stats will be horrible, man. If you're looking to make a pure playmaker type build in 2K20, don't even go with the pure point forward. If you're asking me, to be honest, you might as well go with the 6'5" slashing playmaker, pure playmaker pie chart at the point guard position, okay? Gets better attributes and is more all around. The point forward in this build, 2K disrespected the attributes. And don't get me wrong, this build is still kind of usable. It's just it kind of takes a hit for me because you have to be 6'7" with minimum wingspan to make it work. So that's why the point forward is my honorable mention and didn't make the list, unfortunately. If you disagree, and by the way, if you do disagree with this list, that's okay, bruh. It's opinion made. It's opinion based. Let me know your opinion in the description box down below. But yeah, man, that's why the pure point forward barely made the list for me. I'm sorry, but let's just move on. Starting with number 5, I have the facilitating finisher, aka the Joe Knows YT build. Shout out to Joe Knows. Now, not specifically the first ever LeBron James build he made, because if you remember, his first LeBron James build before he hit Legend, like in September and in the demo, had one defensive badge, okay? I think that he probably, but, you know, it's kind of fair, okay? It's safe to say that everyone messed up on their first build, so it wasn't Joe Knows' fault. But he's gone back, and honestly, he's made the builds like 3 times, and he has basically all facilitating finisher type builds except the defending and finishing, or the defending and shooting version. He has the slashing and playmaking pie chart, and he made like 3 of them, and he tried every takeover. Currently, he's using the post-score takeover version. But this is a really good build, and it really does replicate LeBron James. If you were trying to make a LeBron James build, this would definitely be the build to make. So shout out to Joe Knows and shout out to the facilitating finisher. The facilitating finisher is number 5 on my list. At number 4, I have the finisher. This is the Laker Fan YT build. Laker Fan made this build very famous because Laker Fan was actually the first and one of the only people to figure out that you don't need a 7'3" big man or even a big man at the power forward or center positions to play big man in 2K20. Reason being, speed is one of the most, if not the most important factors in 2K20. So that's why his finisher build is perfect. It's the red and blue pie chart. And the reason this build isn't higher is because there's another build on this list that gets with the pure red and with the red and blue pie chart, but the other build gets more, and it can do the same as the red and blue pie chart. But that doesn't mean the red and blue pie chart is trash. It's actually really good. It made this list. Of course it's good. And Laker Fan, like I said, he can run center with it, and this build is very good. It gets a very high driving dunk, and you can finish at an elite level while still having Hall of Fame defensive badges. This build is really impressive. It's like a Giannis Antetokounmpo build too. Plus, if you make this at the small forward position, you get decent ball control. So this is definitely a good Giannis build, even though some would argue the play glass would probably be the Giannis build. But this is a really good option, and if you're starting out and thinking of making a summer build, I would definitely recommend this build, man, because it's very fun and it's very easy to use. I'm just saying. Coming in at the number 3 spot, I have the rebounding wing. Some of you guys might disagree and put this build higher up, and I understand why, because it can shoot really good, it can play defense. But the one issue this player has is that his rebounding, he can get snagged on a lot of times, basically. And sometimes the defense is a little off on this build, even though you do get Hall of Fame defensive badges. But to be honest, this is a really good build to run. You'll see this build everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And that's why a lot of people might consider it the best small forward build in the game. But I honestly think there's 2 more small forward builds that are better than this build. That doesn't mean that this build is garbage. It's just there are better builds than this build to make. That's just my opinion. So, at number 3, the rebounding wing is on my list. Next up on my list at number 2, I have the two-way finisher, aka the pure lockdown defender, at the small forward position. This build is deadly. Remember a couple minutes ago when I said there was a build on this list that was better than the red and blue pie chart because this build can do everything the red and blue pie chart can do but better? Yeah, this is the build I was talking about, okay? Because unlike the red and blue pie chart, the pure red two-way finisher build gets the same contact dunks as a pure blue, except now with the two-way finisher, you have your defensive ratings in the 90s, okay? I think you may be able to get 1 or 2 categories in the 90s with the red and blue, but nothing tops having all your defensive attributes in the 90s, bro. Like, nothing tops it. And then, like I said, you get the contact dunks. This build can finish at an elite level. Just hop step and you get a few contact dunks. And honestly, this build is perfect to run at the 3 spot in the park. You don't even need a big man. This build, honestly, it gets the stats of a center, but it's at the small forward position, okay? As for heights for this build, the best heights, in my opinion, are either 6'7" or 6'6". But as a small forward, I don't like being too short, so I definitely go 6'7". This build is really good. It made number 2 on my spot. There's just too many benefits to having this build. You can't go wrong with a pure lock two-way finisher. You can't go wrong with it, man. And it's a very deadly build. And then on top of that, there's stage comp tryhards that can even shoot with this build off the catch and shoot. So that's a reason why this build is even better than the rebounding wing, because maybe your teammate has, if your teammate has Hall of Fame floor general and Hall of Fame dimer, and then you have gold catch and shoot, or not gold catch and shoot, because the two-way finisher gets 1 shooting. Maybe I meant bronze quick draw. If the two-way finisher has bronze quick draw, and your teammates have Hall of Fame, Hall of Fame shooting badges and Hall of Fame playmaking badges, the two-way finisher would be helped out a lot on offense, so the two-way finisher will be able to shoot off the catch and shoot. I can't necessarily do that because I don't cheese the game like that, but I know there are stage tryhards who can shoot with the two-way finisher. So that's why number 2 on my list of small forwards is the two-way finisher pure lock build. And finally, at number 1, the number 1 small forward build in NBA 2K20, in my opinion, is the two-way pass first wing, aka the play lock build. This build is so good, it tops every other build on this list, okay? And it's one of the most cheesiest builds in the game, to be honest. This build is more commonly known in the stage, and people at this point run double play lock and triple play lock. It's that good because it can do everything the other positions can do, but better, and it's very fast. And put playmaker takeover on this, it can speed boost. This build is hella crazy. This build gets Hall of Fame defensive and playmaking badges, but on top of that, it can shoot from deadly distances, and the finishing doesn't even have to be upgraded all the way. Just put your driving dunk and driving layup maybe up, I'd say, and you'll be set, man. This build is good with one finishing if you wanted to. But the play lock, man, in my opinion, is the best small forward build in NBA 2K20, man. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree? Do you disagree? Let me know your top 5 small forwards list in NBA 2K20 in the comment section down below. That's going to be the end of this video. I love you all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you're new. Comment your thoughts on this video. Yeah, man. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe during this COVID-19 time. Love you all. Peace out, man. Peace.